Welcome back to episode 79 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex, and here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hello.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Oh, yeah. Most certainly.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. What with this set, though, and what we're going to talk about today, we should become an EDH-focused podcast, given all the legendaries and kind of like setup of Dominaria, of course.
You tell all your EDH friends.
We
this
have
is
to
the
remain-
episode for them.
We can't go become an EDH podcast, man. We have to remain like somewhat competitive. We can be a brawl podcast.
Oh, man. Even that format even has like the EDH casuals rankled, though.
It seems to have upset everybody.
Because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
There's just not enough cards in standard. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why it's not a good format.
But we don't need to get into it. It's just dumb.
Yeah, basically, today we're going to be doing our top 10 countdown for Dominaria like we do with every new set before it gets released. Not necessarily a top 10 best cards in the set, but the 10 cards we as a group are most collectively excited for.
Yeah. And cards like we do think we'll see play, but also that we think are sweet and interesting or unique or will be fun or miserable, but show up everywhere kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a smattering.
All right. But to kick it off today, like we always do, we're going to start with the week that was. We had a double GP in Seattle, starting off with Legacy, won by Grixis Delver.
Yeah, shocker.
Surprise, surprise. Delver wins another Legacy tournament.
Yeah. Playing against the Grixis control deck in the finals. There was
Sultai.
Sultai control, my bad. And then there was also a Grixis control in the top 8, though.
Yeah.
Slower decks in Legacy. Counterspells playable again.
That was the joke that coverage was making a bunch, is they watched all these like control mirrors and like grindy Legacy games, and then they go to standard where people are like God Pharaoh's Gift, one turn killing people. They're like, people like misjudge which format has the combo in it.
Right. Like, this used to happen all the time, and it still happens that you would talk to Legacy players. I can't remember, like, there was like a local Modern player who would like always rage about like Legacy and be like, stupid Legacy, like, I don't want to die on turn 1, like, people just storm you, like, a mana base are $1 million. Like, just, you know, like, basically, like, you just die on turn 1. I'm like, Legacy games take so long because of Force of Will and Deathrite Shaman that, like, everything's kind of shut down. Like,
And as much fetching as Modern, and you're brainstorming, and
right, like, Legacy games take forever. Like, they're slow.
good thing they banned top.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, and also like the odds you die on turn 1 are like really low. Although, speaking of at this Grand Prix, I'm pretty sure Matt Nass got 12th place with like 10 fins. And that deck doing well is like not a good sign.
10 fins.
Yeah, it's the deck that plays like Children of Koilos and Grizzlebrand and basically like puts it into play and then cheats back the health that it lost from drawing cards of Grizzlebrand from Children and then just like draws its entire deck and kills you.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's like like a one shot, like all in, kill you on like turn 1 or 2 combo deck.
Nice.
Like it plays like LEDs and Grizzlebrands. Like it's like, you know, a deck designed to cheat on the kind of basic rule structures of Magic. But yeah, and then someone else did well with it online. Though that's not a good sign for Legacy. But like at the same time, I think with the prevalence of Deathrite Shaman and Force of Will, like it won't ever be too much of a problem. Although like it has ways around those cards.
Yeah.
But like Legacy's in a pretty fair spot.
Yeah, enough about Legacy. Let's talk about Standard. So, for the first time ever, we saw someone go 18-0 to win a Grand Prix.
Props to that guy.
Played mono red aggro.
At a Grand Prix.
Good old mountains.
Yeah, first time at a Grand Prix, because I'm pretty sure somebody's ran it at Worlds.
I mean, the mountains were the boring part. His mana base was actually really interesting, and I think it's why he like did so well. It's kind of what we were talking about like building a deck or modifying a deck to take advantage of frequent play patterns in like the best decks in the meta. And his mana base says like anti-blue-black, anti-Grixis all over it.
Yeah.
Like all those decks are moving to 2/1s. Like they're all playing Glint Sleeves. They're all playing Champion of Wits. They're all playing a bunch of like X1s.
So yeah, we're referring to the Grasping Dunes in
Yeah.
his...
Grasping Dunes and Scavenger Grounds instead of Sunscorched Deserts.
Yeah.
And he just mangled people with both those cards.
Yeah, like three Grasping Dunes, 3 Scavenger Grounds in your mono red deck is surprising. Also, like 4 Mog Fanatic, what's the card called? Fanatical Firebrand.
Fnatic Firebrand, yeah, to also ping 1 toughness things. And then also just 4 Hazoret, 4 Rekindling Phoenix, which is just like your only good
Sign
removal
me
spell
up.
is Vraska.
That
so
is
tax
great.
Tax the Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah.
I love that.
It can go, like, it can kill you fast and
Yeah.
it can go long. Like,
This deck is genius.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, as we saw, it absolutely ran the tables at the tournament. But aside from this, we had the breakout deck of the tournament was the blue-red God Pharaoh's Gift deck.
Yeah, the combat celebrant combo.
Yeah, so that deck kind of 5-0'd a few leagues at the beginning of this format on Moto, and then just never saw
Like months and months ago. Like
Yeah.
we talked about it on the podcast like 4 months ago.
and it just never saw any like tournament play. Mostly because there was really only one other standard Grand Prix, but in any of the team events, it never did well. No one really played it. But then it started popping up again recently, and then it put 3 copies into the top 8 of this tournament.
Yeah, I guess like a bunch of Seattle locals
Yeah, like,
just showed up with it.
and really the main innovation in the deck was adding Warkite Marauder, which, if you don't know, is the Vaporkin, Pirate Vaporkin, 2 mana, 2/1
Well, it
flyer.
can block too.
2 mana, 2/1 flyer. But when it attacks, you can target creature your opponent controls becomes an 0/1 with no abilities.
Yeah, so it kills Scarab God.
Yeah, so you can kill Scarab God, you can kill Hazoret, you can kill Rekindling Phoenix.
Because you play Walking Ballista. So
You
can,
play Ballista and you play Firebrand.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
get them with the 1-2 punch draft combo. As P. Sally explained on coverage, I believe you can get them with these 9th picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a rag deck collection of 9th picks.
Yeah, and I mean, this deck did really well. It came in 2nd, 3rd, and 5th.
Yeah, like didn't you say on coverage they said it was like just a group of like Seattle players who like
Yeah,
showed
some
up?
of the people they had in for the winter interviews when they won with this deck said that a couple local Seattle pros had been working on it and they had shared it with some other people around Seattle and sort of that like northwestern region all knew about it.
Yeah, and they all just showed up with it and stomped.
Like one guy I know from Edmonton was on it. So yeah, it got around.
But yeah, and I guess one of the biggest stories aside from, 18-0 guy taking down this tournament was no Scarab Gods in the top 8.
Yeah.
We saw Brad Nelson miss top 8 by like 0.007
No, it's 0.00007% on breakers.
on breakers, playing blue-black Scarab God. But then, aside from that,
Probably missed a trigger in one of his games.
yeah, like aside from that, looking at the top 16 decks, there's 2 more copies of Blue-Red God Pharaoh's Gift
There's a bunch of that deck around, yeah.
and just a bunch of black-red aggro decks.
Yeah, which is what Jerry Thompson top 8'd with, right?
Yeah. So literally only deck in the top 16 that has Scarab God is Brad Nelson on 9th place.
No, the Sultai one has it in the sideboard too.
Yeah, how much
One
of this,
copy in the sideboard of the Sultai deck.
And I think there's
How much of this is Scarab God decks not actually being the best or not actually being the best for this tournament and people being like, Dominaria is soon and we're bored of like playing Scarab God, so we'll just buy this cheap deck and see what happens.
I don't
this
know,
deck's
man.
probably very good.
The blue-red, yeah, it does look very good, but it's also very cheap, which is nice.
Yeah, this
Scarab
deck.
God's like too slow to like
Yeah.
be hate for this, right?
You
Like
can't tap out on 5 if they have at all a reasonable graveyard. Like,
you just die.
Yeah.
You just insta die. So
Yeah, this deck definitely came out and just smushed some people. Going forward, I mean, one of the biggest reasons for that, though, is, everyone's kind of been shaving down on braids recently.
that too.
And, but we did see the red decks that did do well, like Jerry Thompson's red-black aggro deck, 4 braids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the story of this top 8
Yeah.
is these blue-black and Grixis mirrors have been so inbred. How do we just like start playing cards again that take advantage of it? Things that ping for 1, take advantage of the fact that they're not playing up raids. Go from there.
Yeah, man. This top 8 was sweet. This tournament seemed awesome.
it was sweet. This weekend was like really sweet for coverage because it started on Friday and went until Sunday night,
Yeah, there's so much to watch.
Oh, I guess there was no, right. Even the Sultai Constrictor deck in the top 8 didn't play any Scarab Gods.
Yeah, no.
No. So, based on the events,
Confirmed dead.
based on the events of this tournament, what are you looking to do in Standard going forward?
Well, I'm going to wait for the Scarab God trigger to resolve and it'll come back to your top 8 at the beginning of the next end step.
Aren't you? Well, like we're all potentially playing in a PPTQ tomorrow, correct?
Yeah.
You're going to play, right, Alex?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go. If this PPTQ actually exists.
I'm pretty sure it
we
exists.
gotta double check because it's in Quebec somewhere. So
Yeah, it's in Quebec somewhere, and there's one website that says it is on the day but doesn't give a time. And it's not on Facebook. It's not on any of the other stores' websites.
I just don't understand.
It's on Wizards Event Locator though, apparently. So
Okay. Yeah, I just don't understand having a Magic related website that doesn't work. But if you want to check out a Magic related website that does work, be sure to check out wizardtower.com. Sponsors this podcast.
For all your Magic single needs, free shipping on singles in Canada. And if you don't want to go to this PPTQ tomorrow that may or may not exist, you can also go there to play in their Modern Open qualifier, which is what I was going to do if this PPTQ doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always good events for Modern. Lots of people show up.
We got to check when that next one is in upstate New York so we can go steal it again.
oh yeah.
Because we keep stealing. Weren't they you were saying they were complaining?
Somebody,
If we have any listeners in upstate New York, sorry, we keep stealing your spot.
somebody went there recently, and yeah, like a couple of the locals were like, "Well, I bet you're from Canada, dumb Canadians stealing our slot every time. Come and win our PPTQs."
Because we always drive down and win it.
It's like the only people that go to that store that they don't recognize are just Canadians who crumple them.
Yeah, well, it's
Right on.
close, like an hour drive.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I don't know what I want to do in Standard. I feel like I want to play Rekindling Phoenix, though. The card's gas.
I just play red cards and black cards and blue cards.
Yep.
Red, black, and blue. Stay
Like,
true.
I was like thinking about it. I was like, oh, I want to make sure I have braids. And then I was like, probably need some black because we want some Vraska's Contempt. So,
Yeah.
and we're all going to, because we need to answer our opponent's Rekindling Phoenix because we're going to play our own. And then I was like, but we probably want to negate some stuff too, just in case we're a bit
That was
late.
exactly my thought process.
Yeah.
I was kind of going through withdrawal because I haven't played with 4 Gear Hulk, 4 Glimmer, and some Disallows in my deck for a while.
Yeah.
So I was like laying out a control deck. I'm like, oh, I want Magma Sprays because those are good, and like a Braids. And so I'm playing Harness Lightning because I'm playing Glimmer. And like Gear Hulks. Oh, but Scarab God's pretty good, and I guess I need some Vraska's Contempts. And there we go.
All set.
Got myself a Grixis deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just play like a green-white beatdown deck, actually.
Green, white, beatdown.
Yeah, maybe I'll just play mono-white vampires.
You could splash some Black Vampires in there. You need some Lords.
How you gonna beat that?
I don't know. Pretty easily, probably.
That deck's legit.
I don't think so.
I'm playing Fiery Candidate.
Literally won a tournament. Yeah, even the green white beatdown deck won the PTQ, right?
Oh, yeah.
Moto, like the Moto
Yeah.
PTQ. We talked about it on the podcast. Those decks also stomp Scarab God decks, although those decks are never beating the Comrade Celebrant
Nope.
God Pharaoh's Gift deck, which I think if you play tomorrow at like any tournament and you want to do well, you have to be able to beat that deck. You have to be able to beat like the God Pharaoh's Gift Combat Celebrant deck. So you need to have a plan to beat it because otherwise...
Put 4 braids in your deck now.
That and
Yeah.
some counter spells.
You need to play like 4 braids and like maybe extra, and not maybe, like definitely extra stuff in the sideboard of like just to like kill a God Pharaoh's Gift.
Mm-hmm.
Because like their deck can't really...
Get me some green red cards and give me some Thrashing Brontodons. Some Bronte boys in my main deck.
Some Bronte Boys.
Yeah.
But you need pressure, which all Bronte Boy does do that actually.
Yeah.
That card's sweet. Wasn't that card designed by Michael Majors, former player, now designer?
I don't know.
I know it was actually. It was a rhetorical question. He designed it, and he's like, he was saying that this is the kind of style of card he likes playing because
Because it's just very good.
it's not that. It's that like, it's not a sideboard card that you can only like, it only does one thing. You can just play it as it's a vanilla 3/4 for 3. Like that's
Yeah.
Does some good stats.
right. Like, and then if you need it for something else, like, so I don't know. But anyway, yeah, you should probably play that card if you're gonna play green and white, but maybe you just play green and red, a braid plus.
Give me some Phoenix. Give me some Glory Bringers.
Yeah, what was that? Remember at the beginning of the format, there was that green red like monsters
One
deck.
a GP.
Yeah, one a
Yeah.
GP.
Yeah.
That deck's got to stomp God Pharaoh's Gifts.
Yeah. It's probably a pretty
Right?
good matchup.
That deck's got to stomp them.
Probably.
I played it once, and it could not ever deal with a Scarab God, so I
No, no.
stopped. But
Yeah.
now Scarab God's gone.
Well, it's not going to be gone. Like, no, what you think that like local players are giving up their $50 buys? You know what I mean?
It's not
Like,
going to be gone, but like
But people will definitely play. There will be like a few people who show up to a tournament with this
Oh,
God
for
Pharaoh's
sure.
Gift, like
Yeah,
Combat Celebrant deck tomorrow because they have all the cards already, and they're just like, oh, I just add these bulk mythics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like the green red deck, like if you can find a way, if listeners have a way, I'm too dumb to think of it, but like if you're smarter than me, which isn't hard, how do you beat Scarab God in green red?
They were doing it.
Struggle to survive.
Yeah, it struggled to survive in like
Oh,
a really
yeah, right.
roundabout way.
Yeah, that's miserable.
Otherwise, you have to combo like an Agma Spray and something.
That's also miserable.
Mm-hmm. A Puncturing Blow, if you're really desperate,
In the sideboard,
Yeah.
you can't mainboard that card.
still like a 4-mana sorcery. Ugh,
I mean, like if it kills Scarab God, I'm willing to.
that's true.
That's grim.
There
But
are ways.
that deck is sweet otherwise.
You could play Deathgorge Scavenger main and like kill it in combat, or like kill it with a Harness Lightning, or like combine an attack and a Chandra or something, and then you play that second main and exile it.
That card is sweet. That card should see more. That card should be in that deck in general, actually. That card's super good.
Yeah, your 3-drop slot was kind of full with Ronus and Jade Light Ranger.
Man, that's true. Jade Light Ranger probably better than that. Well, is it?
Yeah, if you're losing to Scarab God, probably not.
Right. And it's good against mono red. We broke it. All right, on to our favorite Dominaria cards. We already solved it.
All right.
We solved the dead standard format that now doesn't matter going forward,
Yeah.
other than the PPTQ we're going to play in tomorrow.
Right, but it's good to learn from lessons of the past, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
What's that quote? Was it a Ricky quote from Trailer Park Boys? Like, if we don't learn from the mistakes of the future, we'll be doomed to repeat them for the first time.
Yeah. Isn't that the story of everybody who's ever talked about spoilers in
Oh, no, it
Magic,
wasn't-
which
it
we're
wasn't-
about to do?
It was Ken M, famous internet
yeah,
troll.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Isn't that like what we're about to do?
Yeah,
Talk about spoilers?
yeah.
Even though all new cards suck, we're going to talk about how we're stoked on new
Well,
cards.
no, we found the loophole for this set though, right? Because they're old cards technically.
Oh, they're all actual old quote unquote cards.
Mm.
Huh. All right, get hype, boys.
All right, so like we do, we're gonna.
Oh, wait. Are we just not going to talk about the SCG Modern at all either? Man, this weekend was crazy.
There's too
busy.
much. We don't have time.
We'll talk about it later.
Well, let me.
What
It
even
was won
happened?
by Green Red Eldrazi.
I know we saw this deck pop up actually recently. We talked about it on the podcast.
Is it what 8 different decks in top 8 again?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The-
Just modern, doing modern stuff. like it
Okay, so
always
the only
does.
thing that matters, and Jerry T pointed this out, is that there was a guy playing Scape Shift with 4 Collective Brutality in his Titan Shift deck. It's not this one,
Oh,
but
got me all excited.
it was online, and
Where have I heard the idea to play more Collective Brutalities main before?
yeah, and like he even said a thing. He's like, "Oh, Modern's just Collective Brutality of the format now. Like it's one of the best cards in the format. Like deals with Bloodbraid Alpha." I was like, "Huh." Yeah, remember when we said that like, month and a half ago, and now people are like just realizing like, holy, like Collective Brutality is just so good in Modern. Like
Man,
it's so good that this guy playing Scape Shift or Titan Shift was playing 1 Blood Crypt. That's it, and four main.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, you're gonna get clowned by Burn playing that deck. Now you ain't.
no, you ain't.
No, like
You heard it here first, guys. You want some hot takes on the format?
Can you
want to
imagine?
know what's going on? What cards are good? Disorganized Wizard Club.
We've talked a lot about how like the Modern metagame is really slow to evolve, and like takes Modern players a long time to like catch on to these ideas. Like it took them forever to put more Barals in Storm, etc.
oh yeah.
Can you imagine how much faster this meta would be evolving if we could have stomach to show up and play with our ideas?
If we could only just suffer through playing Modern.
Yeah.
You guys, you'd all enjoy playing Modern if you just added some Karn into your decks.
And Collective Brutalities.
Karn and people is a pretty
Speaking
good time.
which Karn?
Well, the only one that is playable in Modern currently.
Well, currently.
Until next week.
Yeah. Two
until
more
2
weeks.
Weekends.
Speaking of,
Oh, yeah.
number 1 on the list, Karn, Scion of Urza.
Way to jump all the way from number 10 to 1.
We're going
Spoilers,
no,
Cam.
We're going 1 down.
Going
We're
one
going
down.
one down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we
Well,
usually go 10 to 1, but we're going 1 down this time because
Yeah.
Cam got a little
I'm too
excited.
excited, so he changed the rules.
Number 1 on our list of cards we're most excited for.
I mean,
from
if you
Dominaria.
wanted us to go from 10 to 1, you shouldn't have listed them 1 to 10.
Well, that is true. Except, you know,
I always do it
literally
this
every
way.
other time we've
What
done
else?
it this
What
exact
else do
same
you
way.
read in the wrong
Quit
order?
making up excuses for you getting too hired up. But like, okay, this card is like, I think it was probably going to be like obvious halfway through the list. This is a card we're most excited for. Like, I don't know actually how to assess this card because like there are parts of it where I'm like, that's pretty underpowered and not that great.
But it's colorless and it can fit in every deck, and you can always cast it on 4.
Yeah, that's the thing. You
Yeah.
can like, basically always cast it. If like Mox Amber is playable, then you can cheat it in early and it gets a pretty big advantage. Like, it's like the start you talked about the other week, and like we joked like, oh yeah, nice 4-card combo, but it's like it's not that uncommon in Magic to have 3 to 4 cards line up that you need if they're 4-ofs in your deck. Like that's not one of which was a forest, by the way. So I mean,
Yeah.
whoa.
Good chance you could have a forest in your opener.
But like, what was the opener? It was like Ovia Pashari,
Ovia, Forest Ovia, Mox,
Connor.
Llanowar Elves.
Yeah, and then like
And
a
then
payoff card. But
Turn
like,
2 card.
if you don't have the payoff, which could be any like 4-drop, Ovia just starts
Making dudes.
making like a 3/3 that turn, a
A
4/4 that because you can make 5 mana. Oh no, you can't make 5 mana on turn 2.
You make a 1/1 and then you start making.
You make a 1/1, sorry, and then you start making 4/4, 5/5.
Yeah.
Like
It's possible.
if you have Karn on 3, the next turn.
You can make them on 2, though. Why play them on 3 when you can play them on 2?
Or sorry, that's what I mean. On 2, when you make them, you make a guy. So you have a 3/3, right? And then on 3, you can tick Karn down again, correct?
He'd be a 1/1 on turn 2.
Okay. You just tick up.
Because Karn's constructs that he make only count artifacts.
But you
have.
can
so
use,
he'd be a 2/2.
Yeah, but you can use a Via Pashari on
You can use her on 3.
and then
Yeah.
make a huge dude. Like that's a big snowballing effect. I don't know, like
With
not
zero
only-
interaction from your opponent.
sure, but
Yeah.
like they have like there's so much stuff they need to kill. Like they need to kill the Llanowar Elf.
Guess what? Ovia is a 1/2 and doesn't die to
Fanatical Firebrand
Firebrand.
blocks
Think
it.
about that, guys.
No, that card is sweet. I think that card is sweet. It's like a built-in like. I think that these creatures are often very good and overlooked. Like any creature that creates just sort of like in a board stall or whatever, like they create, virtual card advantage. I think the cards are very good. Like Ovia is just like quote unquote underpowered, but I think if we're talking about like playing her with Karn and like Llanowar Elves and we just have a bunch of bodies lying around.
Yeah. I think I've seen a few people. There's been a lot of pros writing about Karn recently. Even like yesterday, Todd Anderson wrote about how the title of his article is like, Karn seriously scares me.
I don't know that it's like scary.
Yeah, I think he might have been exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, this card is going to see a shit ton of play probably.
Are you
And
accusing someone of using a clickbait title in 2018?
Not on this show.
Who would dare? Find out on next week's episode.
This is what should we call our title today?
You will
This is the most clickbait you could think of.
secret spoilers revealed. Yeah.
Yeah, just like top 10 new cards from Dominaria. You won't believe what's number 1.
Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, it's just like an interesting card. It's gonna go in like every deck. Or like people will, I'm not saying it will actually end up in the kind of like refined version of every deck. I'm saying that people will try it. Like this is just the consensus logic for a colorless planeswalker. Like everyone's gonna be like, I'm gonna try it in everything, but that's good. People should do that with every card. And that's like a cool way to approach the game. But I think people are gonna try it in modern, vintage. Like people are definitely gonna try it in vintage. People are just gonna be curious with it in shops. You can cast it on turn 1.
Yeah, there's probably something busted in modern that it'll enable.
Like even just in affinity, like because the token gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like your Karn just makes an 8/8 on
You can
turn?
play. You can play
it on
that
turn 3, like easily.
Probably play on turn 2.
You can play it on turn 2 with like a very good, like very okay draw actually, not that
Yeah.
unusual. You just need to have what's it called?
Like
A Springleaf Drum and a Mox.
Yeah. Easy.
And if your land is like what's the artifact land again?
Spire or
Darksteel.
Darksteel, yeah, sorry. Like the thing you make from Karn is like a 4/4 at minimum.
Seems good.
Like
Powerful stuff.
at best you play it on turn 3 after dumping your hand, and it's like a 6/6 for 4. Like that also starts refilling your hand with more Arcbound Ravagers later. Like,
Yeah.
I think in Affinity, like it's
Could be something good.
yeah, it's an interesting card. Like it's exciting. I think it's potentially dangerous, but I think that they knew that when they were printing a colorless Planeswalker for
You think
4.
they knew that?
I think that's
Get
why,
out of here.
I think that's why Mox Amber is formatted the way it is. Because if it was make any color, if you control a legendary permanent, then Karn would be like out of control.
Yeah, we'll get there. Moving on to number 2. It's probably sweetest card in the entire set, maybe.
We don't know if this card's even going to be playable, but we don't care.
Yawgmoth's Vile Offering.
This card is demanding.
Five mana for a legendary sorcery. And you can put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard
Yeah, graveyard.
onto the battlefield under your control. And then there's more. You get to destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker, and then you exile it.
You exile Yawgmoth's File Offering.
Yeah.
Not the thing you killed.
Yeah. This card's bananas.
The card's like hilarious. Like it's so, if you can cast it in like mid-range mirrors, it's like comical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be close to over.
And this is
so funny.
This is what we were saying earlier. This is kind of the text on it that a lot of people missed in Scarab God originally, that you can just return a creature from any graveyard, not just your own.
Call back to like, are the joke
Also-
not joke we were making at the beginning of the episode?
If they don't have anything, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's any graveyard, so it's even stronger in EDH.
Also, yeah. Also, you don't have to kill something. If
Yeah.
the board is there's nothing and you're all top decking, you can just reanimate something. It says up to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
have a legendary already.
Yeah. I guess like you need to have your dumb Gonti in play, like your 2/3.
Yeah. Which is like why
This is why we're not sure the card's even
Yeah.
going to be good.
But I mentioned this before we started recording. It could lead to like some very miserable games where like you're playing like a mirror where you both have this card and you cast yours first and you kill their 1 legendary permanent and then you bring back a planeswalker and you kill their other legendary permanent and now they can't like Vile Offering you back because you killed all their legendaries and they have to take a turn off while you just have like an extra
An
creature and a
insurmountable
planeswalker.
board
Yeah, like,
presence.
That game's just over, and that's it.
Oh yeah, it's
Right.
long gone.
But
But like this is why we keep saying Gonti though too. Gonti like pairs really well.
you can Gonti and take their Vile Offering and use it to
Yeah.
take their planeswalker.
Oh yeah.
oh,
Not only that, like the reason we say Gonti is the legendary because like no one kills Gonti.
Well, now they do.
It's a 2/3
Yeah.
for a 4. That's just a bad rate. Even though that card's
True.
lit and been awesome its entire time, and I've loved casting that card my entire time in
oh,
standard.
Gonti's sweet. Love that card.
Yeah, I've been casting it like since it's been legal in standard. The card's amazing. Remember I used to play in the
Confirmed.
sideboard of tokens, like Esper tokens even, because like it's just sweet.
I played it too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, Gonti's hype.
yeah, great
Definitely.
card. And like, yeah, no, I don't like. Not sure if like, it just depends if the legendary matters card like are playable.
Yeah, how much of a detriment that actually is.
And speaking of, like, our next card is also like this is a huge if.
Mox Amber, 0 mana legendary artifact.
Like, it's a Mox. Like, you have to
Yeah.
like be excited about trying to like break this card. Basically, like if you can find a way to make it good, which is why people have been talking about Avio Pashari, like all these other legendaries. But there's like obviously a million legendaries in this set.
Yeah. The one thing I've noted, this card, it only counts like colored legendary permanents.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work with something like
Karn.
Karn, yeah. But I mean, still, fast mana like this is always
Dangerous. Like
Very
it's just
dangerous.
a dangerous. It's just it's exciting and like that's why I say it's a card we're excited for because like we're living on the edge.
yeah. You don't know. It could be busted. Might not be. You never know.
Might be garbage.
Probably pre-ordering at like $40.
Do you think the chance of it being busted is worth, if you open any, immediately keeping it like pack fresh, getting it graded as 10, saving it
No,
for 20
because, like,
years?
It won't see play in like well actually if you open a foil maybe because it'll see play in EDH
Mhm.
and like any foil EDH staple is always worth money like hashtag MTG finance right like no that's like a thing
Yeah.
so if I opened a foil like I would probably keep it because it's basically like a Mox in EDH like I wouldn't be surprised if it somehow ends up like banned in EDH actually.
Well, it plays pretty well with that
You
1 mana 2/2 legendary hound, right?
Yeah, Hound of Isumaru.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of ours already sort of spec'd and bought some of those and bought some Kithians. And
Right, like there's a bunch of like
Yeah.
that are an issue with Mox Amber. Yeah,
do you think they banned Mox Amber and EDH before they banned Soul Ring?
Well, in
yes.
French, in French EDH.
No one cares about that.
I mean, it's literally the only league in the city and like the only one that like are played at GPs at side events and stuff.
Is Soul Ring banned in that format?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's lots of bands in that format. Yeah. No, that's like the only like reasonable EDH format because Soul Ring is banned and like a lot of like the really powerful cards are banned. Like a lot of all the fast mana is banned. Like
We said we wouldn't be an EDH podcast. Let's get off this.
but anyway, I'm saying if you open a foil, I would consider like holding on to it for a while because like while this card won't see play in Legacy because there's no like legendaries and same with Vintage, like because
Sure, there are. There's all the same amount of legendaries that there are in Modern and Standard.
yeah, but creatures are
Come on,
dumb.
man.
Creatures are garbage.
No,
You're just gonna cast my 1 mana draw 3. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
use it with your Leovold.
yeah, I mean I don't know. Like I just cast my Leovold on turn 2 off my Deathridge Shaman. Like
Yeah.
like Deathridge is infinitely better than this card.
Yeah, but then you get to hold up 1 mana for Brainstorm.
I mean Flusterstorm, come on, bro. But like
Yeah, some storm.
yeah, some form of storm. But like, yeah, anyway, this card in Standard is like,
Could be busted, might not be.
you'll have to go
playable.
through hoops.
We'll see.
But it's exciting. Like, I think it's worth going through those hoops. And there's like, obviously, this is a legendary set. Like,
Yeah, but let's talk about something that is obviously busted. Number 4, Llanowar Elves, back in Standard. Do we really have to get into why this card is great and why it's number 4?
it's just
on the list?
exciting to get ahead on mana and punish your opponent and not let them play Magic.
Man, I just want to cast 5/4s on turn 2. Let's go. Right?
Spoilers.
Moving on. Number 5, Phyrexian Scriptures.
This card's sweet. The scriptures are sweet. I think the design is sweet. As an old cantankerous Magic player who doesn't like anything new, these are sweet. And if you complain, if you're one of those people like, I like my Magic cards to look like Magic cards, get out of here. These are sweet. Like, I don't like anything and I hate on everything. These are actually sweet.
Throwing out subtweets on our podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
You know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. But like, the scriptures are awesome. The art is awesome. Cool design, unique
Yeah.
design. They're sweet. They're, yeah.
So yeah, this one in particular is Pseudo Damnation. First ability, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature.
So 2 black, 2 colorless.
Yeah, and this creature becomes an artifact. Then number 2 ability, destroy all non-artifact creatures. Number 3, exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards.
Make my Scarab God a 6/6. Next turn, destroy all your stuff. Upkeep. Bring something back with Scarab God, then exile the rest. Gotcha.
Easy game.
Yeah, I don't know.
GG,
It's
get
just
out.
it is interesting because you mentioned this. It's really the only sweeper in the set, I guess, if you're not counting Urza's
Ruinous Blast. That card's also sweet, though.
But yeah, it is kind of a damnation effect. We don't really see like just straight up sweepers in black too often. I mean, it doesn't kill artifacts, but yeah, it could be really good. I don't know. It makes for awkward play patterns because if you're playing against a deck who can't interact with enchantments, you're playing this on turn 4, and then what's your opponent going to do? Just like take their turn 4 or 5 off and just not play a creature because you're just playing it.
They have to play a removal spell. They have to play a removal spell on the thing you pumped.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
Yeah, it puts your opponent into an awkward situation, forces awkward play patterns. It could be good.
Well, yeah, like what you do is you play like Whirler Virtuoso on 3 or like actually Whirler Virtuoso is really good for it. Like you play Whirler Virtuoso on 3 because then you can save your energy for the post-scripture. Well, actually, it's a Thopter. You can just make it right away. It's an artifact.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. This deck sounds nuts.
And then you play this and you make your guy a 3/4.
Yeah.
Attack through their 3-drop because like what 3-drop's going to stop a 3/4 besides Bronte Boy,
Good old Bronte Boy.
right? And then you wrath their Bronte Boy.
No,
Get out.
Bronte Boy destroys enchantments.
Oh yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah, but you still get your +1/+1.
Yeah.
Got him. And then you get to attack.
4 mana +1/+1. The state of standard.
Well, now it's an artifact.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, but I don't know. Like the play pattern for it's pretty sweet. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It depends like how many and what artifacts are good. Like it makes Whirler Virtuoso sweet. Like I just think like it into Whirler Virtuoso pretty obnoxious because you just want to have a bunch of Thopters around anyway. Like maybe this is what makes a Grixis Thopters deck sweet.
And speaking of cards that are good with Whirler Virtuoso, number 6 on this list, Zahid, Jane of the Lamp.
That card's hype. We talked about this card already.
Yeah, we talked about this a bit last week. It's the 6 mana 5/6, but you can pay 4 mana and tap an untapped artifact you control rather than pay its mana cost.
That's flying.
It has flying.
Yeah, like a
Pretty
4 mana
busted.
5/6 flyer. If it didn't have flying, it'd be like irrelevant. Like,
Yeah.
this would just not even matter. But like the fact that it can block
Literally everything.
Hazoret, yeah, like everything that matters. Like Rekindling Phoenix, Hazoret, Glorybringer,
Tough to kill.
Scarab God.
This card seems great.
Oh yeah, hard to kill. 6 toughness is a lot.
Yeah.
Even with the new Vicious Offering, the 2 mana removal spell, like is a -5/-5.
Can tap your, Cam mentioned this, tap Mox Amber to cast it.
Even if you don't
Even
have
if you
a
don't have a
legend.
legend. And then your Mox Amber's turned on for the next turn.
You can tap whatever creature you made an artifact with Phyrexian Scriptures.
Yeah. Now, Phyrexian Script is just an interesting card. I'm just curious how the play pattern goes. But yeah, no, this card's sweet. It's just a big dumb idiot in the air. But it's like, I think it's could be the thing that makes like the Grixis improvised decks that everyone's been trying to play for so long powerful.
Yeah.
It
This
finally
with the
gives them-
Herald of Anguish too. Just
Right, it
these
gives them,
massive freaking flyers.
Gives them these 2 huge flyer payoff cards.
Yeah.
Like,
Could be good. Stay tuned.
oh, well, also they get the new card, the Vicious Offering removal spell to sack Thopters and everything. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
right? Like they just get a way better removal package, more powerful creatures, like just inherently better cards across the board. So it's interesting. I'm excited for it because I like that deck and I like these cards.
Yeah. Then next on list number 7, card. You, Adam, you're pretty stoked. Well,
I'm
you
not
think
stoked
it's
to
pretty-
play against it, but I think it's
pretty good.
obnoxious.
Yeah, this is the bane of Thopters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Goblin Chain Whirler.
Yeah,
3
this-
red for a 3 mana, 3 red for a 3/3 first striking Goblin Warrior. And when it enters play, it deals 1 damage to all your opponent's creatures, their planeswalkers, and your opponent.
Yeah, card's obnoxious.
Yeah.
This card's just so obnoxious. Like we literally just like you guys are like,
It doesn't ping your own things.
It doesn't ping your own things. It's so
so
obnoxious.
good.
And we literally, like, in the intro and talking about it, like, oh, this inbred standard metagame, like, oh, I don't know if this card's good. Well, yeah, what's the inbred standard metagame? Killing X1s.
Yeah.
Killing glint sleeve siphoners. Like, if mono red's on the play, like, you just, like, they just hose you. Like, this is ridiculous.
This card's going to be, like, annoying to play against in mono red
Oh, yeah.
players.
Oh, yeah, it's so annoying. Like, it's also just annoying to block.
Yeah.
Like-
First strike's not irrelevant.
Right. Like, and the fear of your opponent having the second one in their hand.
Yeah, man.
That's the beating. Like they either what? They play it and then attack and you can't block if you have your creatures are X4s.
Yeah.
Because of the first strike. Or like they suicide some 2-drop and 1-drops in and you think like, oh, these are free blocks. Then they play this on 3? Like if they go like 1-drop, 2-drop and your creatures have 1 toughness higher than their power, like do you block? And just get blown out? Like completely, you just get wrathed on turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this card's obnoxious. Like
Yeah.
so incredibly obnoxious. It's so good.
It's probably going to be really good.
Yeah, it's just really powerful.
Probably.
Like a 3 power 3-drop in mono red is literally been banned in standard.
We already saw a 3 mana 3/3 get banned.
But like obviously this costing 3 red is prohibitive, but like I
Yeah.
don't think that matters like in mono red. And I think that like first strike is just a huge deal for mono red to have like this kind of power.
Well, it's pretty standard that mono red's been playing 6 colorless lands as of late. I don't know if playing this card means you have to play maybe 1 less.
You probably have to play 1 or 2 less, yeah.
But yeah, obviously,
Like I think you can get away with 4 or 5. You know what I mean? Because everyone played Mutavault.
yeah. I don't know. It's probably going to be really good.
Right. Like the more you think about it, you're like, wow, this card lines up in standard like very
Yeah, man.
well. Also, like the mono red decks are all going to play Magma Sprays, right? So you just having first strike, being able to like attack into your Scarab God and Mega Spray your Scarab God.
Yeah.
Like this card's super good.
It's going to be extremely playable.
I don't want to play against it. Like I know I'm going to lose that card a lot. I like.
Yeah. And I guess we've kind of covered how good that card is. We can move on to number 8, Lyra Dawnbringer, the second coming of Baneslayer Angel.
Yeah. This card's also going to be very good.
5 mana, 5/5, flying, first strike, lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink.
Yeah, nice Glorybringer. Nice Rekindling Phoenix. Don't care. This card is
It's
awesome.
pretty sweet.
It's very good. Also, one more thing about the Goblin card. That's my prediction for the best card, like the most impactful card on our list for
You think so?
Standard. I think it's going to be the most impactful card in Standard.
You might be right.
I mean, I could be wrong too. But
I don't know. Llanowar Wells
First time for
is
everyone.
probably the only other.
oh yeah,
contender for that.
that's like an obvious though.
Yeah.
Like, well, actually, so like I think that the Baneslayer Angel card's very good. Like, I think it's going to have quite an impact. But the next one on our list, I think you are also right in that it's going to have a big impact on standard. We'll get to it in a second.
Yeah. But yeah, Lyra. I mean, it could be busted, but like,
It depends how it lines up, but it won't be
Yeah.
busted. It's like that huge rant that P. Sully went on the SCG coverage where he's like, this is a card that like runs the gamut of like kind of it's bad to it's amazing, but also everything in between. Like there are going to be games where it just like trades with something and gains you 5 life, and you're like, oh man, thank God, like I really need that 5 life. But that's a medium. It's like that game it was a 3 or out of 10 or a 4 out of 10. There are going to be games where all they have is a hazard and they're just smashing you and like you race in the air and it wins you the game, right?
yeah.
It's a 10 out of 10 because it's like the only creature that could have raced a hazard. There are going to be times where it can't race the hazard and you lose because it can't block the hazard. So like I don't know, this card's just going to be like interesting. You know, I think it'll show up everywhere though.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be a sideboard card.
Like that, it has
Most
first
formats,
strike.
probably.
First strike and lifelink is huge and
Yeah.
flying. Like it's just like huge stats. Like card's great.
Yep. But
It also it's kind of nice. Like the downside is that it's a legendary, right? But it's also the type of card that if it's in the position to run away with the game, like they have to kill it. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you have 2 in
Like,
hand, it's not that big of a deal.
yeah, this is a card that's totally fine to have multiple copies in your hand.
yeah. Then moving on to number 9, we have Steel Leaf Champion, the 3 green for a 5/4 Elf Knight.
Everyone's gonna lose this card.
And it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Man, how many times this standard format are you just going to get freaking stomped by turn 1 Llanowar Elf into turn 2 this guy?
Like so many.
All
many.
the time, I guarantee it.
Yeah, he's not legendary though, so it's a lot of good removal.
It isn't legendary.
But that's good because like some of the removal kills him. But that card's
Man, doesn't die to Harness Lightning, Abrade, Fatal Push, you need to put in some work for it.
Yeah,
God, this card's good.
it's just Woolly Thoktar.
Man, it's huge.
It's Woolly Thoktar in standard. It's awesome. It's a huge beater and it's easy to cast with Llanowar Elves. The question is whether, like, it's not a question. There was already a mono green aggro deck that has pedigree in standard.
Yeah.
Like we joke about it, but like, remember, like, we were talking, like, it also won, like, online tournaments. Like, we're not.
I saw, let me just look it up real quick, but I saw a Twitter post the other day from, I think, Brendan Nicandio, where he, let me just pull it up, talking about basically a line of play where you can play like a turn 3 Galta.
Yeah.
Let me find it. What's if I can remember it, what's Ronus's Last Stand do? If I'm remembering that correctly.
The 2-mana 5/4, you don't untap lands.
Yeah. Double
It's
green.
a double green sorcery, and your lands don't untap the next turn, make a 5/4.
Yeah, so if you go turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Stilt Leaf Champion, and then turn 3
Steel Leaf Champion, you
Ronus's
mean?
Last Stand Galta.
Oh, yeah. That is a Galta.
Yeah,
That's game.
yeah.
Galta costs 12 normally, right? And you can reduce it by
Yeah.
10.
To the
Yeah,
power.
okay,
No,
yeah.
11.
Yeah, but you still have to pay the double green.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then
Do we think that's
your
a
elf
good
can get
play
pushed.
pattern?
That is an unhealthy play pattern, yeah. If someone sticks that, that's obnoxious, yeah. That's game. Like, I'm assuming no interaction on your opponent's behalf.
there's still, yeah, that's a hard one to get out of.
Yeah, man. I think
Like, how would you get out of it? You'd have to, like, somehow chump with something, Fatal Push the Steel Leaf Champion, and then, like, take 12, and then Vraska's Contempt Galta. Like,
it's tough.
And
like-
any follow up in that time, though, you're also dead.
yeah.
Like any other creature.
Seal Away is really good. You don't take 12 from the Galta, you get to exile it.
Yeah. Seal Away is huge.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
card's good.
I don't know. This Steel Leaf Champion, it like I am
So this 3-mana cycle of rares, actually, like I wonder at some point if they'll all see play. I
Yeah.
don't think the blue one's good, but I can see it seeing play at some point.
well, it's tough. Like what?
So for those who don't know, the blue one is just 3. Like there's a cycle of 3 mana cards. Like they're each like 3 islands, 3 planes, or like 3 black, 3 red, 3 green, and they
Yeah.
all are like
Yeah,
kind
And
of They're all maybe playable in some ways, but the red one is like insane. The green one's probably insane.
Yeah.
The rest I'm not sure about. Like if the night deck is real, the white one's actually probably fine.
Well, like we don't really have a humans deck right now.
Yeah, even just like
Standard.
it doesn't even have to be
But-
a night deck. It can just be a white weenie deck because it's other creatures, right? It's not
Yeah.
night creatures. It's just other creatures you control get +1/+1. Like it's a glorious anthem on a 3/3 body. That's actually huge.
Yeah. But
The card's actually really good. The more that I think about it, like these cycle of 3-drops all might be good. Cam even mentioned that like there are a bunch of like tier 3 like mono black aggro decks in standard, and the
where
black,
you have Dreadshade 3 black for a 3/3, and you can pay a black to give it +1/+1 till end of turn. Like
yeah, the
that
fact
could
that
be good.
+1/+1 is big. It's not +1/-1, which is
Yeah.
like usually what it is, right?
Yeah.
But like giving it +1/+1 is pretty good. Like the blue one, I'm not sure about. Like it's a 0/4 for 3 that gets
Yeah.
+1
It's-
power for each island you control.
Yeah,
That's
it's the
fine.
only one that's awkward because like we're adding check lands to the format. We already have fast lands that are blue. Like they're not islands.
right. Like mana is going to be so
Yeah,
good.
It
that,
only
like,
it only counts islands. Like, are you playing literally a mono blue deck with only islands as your mana base? Like that's how you make this card good.
Yeah, and then what
otherwise
else
this
is in your
card's
deck?
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
what else is in your mono blue deck? That's the issue. Like I can tell you what's in your mono white deck. It's History of Benalia and like
Dono
Yeah,
Vanguard.
or mono green or mono red.
it's
Those are
just a
all-
bunch of vampires. Oh yeah, who it could just be Monument. Mono white vampires with this guy, right? All because it's not non-token creatures. This
There's
guy's
other creatures. You can call. I
Yes.
thought it was other knights.
no, dude. This card's
Cool.
actually nuts.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Right?
Monument.
In Monument, like just in Vampire Monument, like okay, yeah, like make all these guys like all my vampires and my Monument tokens are +1/+1 now. That card's insane. Maybe this card's the best one out of all of them. The red one's probably still, but this one counters your Monument guys dying to the stupid red gobbo.
Oh yeah.
Got him. But yeah, anyway, this card, no, this white one's very good too. Yeah.
But yeah, and
This
then
3-drop cycle's rad.
to kick off.
We
our
should have put
top
all
10,
of them on the list, actually. You're right. We should have cheated and said like the 3-drop cycle on the list.
But let's talk about number 10.
I saw a Facebook post, I think it was from me. So it was like, the meme is complete.
Yeah.
Flame Wreath Faceless has made the shift.
We're a Hearthstone now,
So
boys.
as of yesterday as well, Flame Wreath Faceless rotated out of Standard in Hearthstone.
Did
So
And now we have
and
4
it's
mana
rotating
7.
into Magic.
Now we have
Standard.
4 mana 7/7s in Standard in Magic.
4 mana
And yeah.
Traxos Scourge of Krug. 4 mana 7/7 trample. Legendary artifact creature that's a construct. I don't know if that matters, but it enters the battlefield tap and doesn't untap during your untap step. But whenever you cast a historic spell, you untap him.
So historic spells, which they explain in all the cards, because like I even was like, what the hell's a historic card when I first saw these, is a
Legendaries.
scripture, a legendary, or an artifact.
Yeah, so sagas, legendaries, or artifacts.
Or sorry, not scriptures.
Sagas.
Sagas, yeah.
Yeah.
I should say scriptures because only one that matters to me.
Like, is this card playable? Who fucking knows?
yes,
It's sweet as hell, though.
It is hilarious. And you know what? Mox Amber doesn't tap mana, but it untaps a guy. And Cam brought up a more interesting one.
Yeah,
which
so-
was, why would we play Mono Islands? I'll tell you why we're going to play Mono Islands.
Oh yeah.
We can play the blue guy that has 0/4 and flying and gets +1/+1. We can play curve that into our 4 mana 7/7. So we have a 4/4 flyer on turn 4 and a 4 mana 7/7.
Mhm.
We can cast on turn 5, I don't know, Brawl's Expertise or something and play another 4 mana 7/7 bouncer guy in case ours dies. And then on turn 6, we were like, how do we get you at instant speed? What's an artifact with flash?
Oh yeah, torrential Girl.
We flash in our torrential Kirok and untap our 4 mana 7/7 and get you.
We get to play the 5/6 Jin. It's also blue.
Oh yeah, dude. Are we just playing mono blue artifact
And like
stompy? Like just big idiot.
yeah, you have to untap Traxos once, but if it's untapped, you can use it to pay for the Jin and it'll untap again.
Yeah.
And then so it's just a 4 mana 5/6 with no downside.
That ramped. It's just a 4 mana 7/7 Llanowar elf.
Yeah.
Because you used it to pay for your Jin and then you untapped it with your torrential Kirok.
Yeah. Well, the Jin casting
The Jin
untaps
cast
it.
on. Oh my god, that's busted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, did we just break this format?
So if you like, are there any small blue legendaries?
Uh,
we can-
Brawl.
We can play Baral.
wait, did Planeswalkers count? Because Jace is mono blue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cunning Castaway?
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted it to be 1 or 2 so that we could cast this on 3 with
Is
Mox
this how we
Amber,
make
but-
Jace good?
Oh yeah, cunning cast.
Yeah, about 4 mana 7.
It's when it does combat damage. This thing has trample. You're going to loot.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Whoa is right.
Oh boy. You get Karn in this deck.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're playing 4 mana 7/7s. We're playing Garden.
Yeah. Is this better than just cutting the flyer, the 3-drop flyer, and playing green?
That thing plays D pretty well though in our deck. Like, and if we're mono blue, like I'm down for playing a 4 mana 4/4 flyer.
Right, no, but
for
that's what I'm
3.
saying. Like, why are we playing mono blue when we can cut that card and we have like check lands and fast lands now, and we can play blue green with Ovia?
If the mana was good enough.
It's going to be good enough. There's 4 fast lands, 4 check lands.
Is it better than blue-red with Whirler Virtuoso?
Yeah, we probably just want to play Virtuosos and
Yeah,
Harness
that's true.
Lightnings.
Oh, but then the Mox Amber is not as good.
Yeah, whatever. Do we need it?
You win some, you lose some.
I don't think we need it in this deck.
You could play Teamer.
Oh, man.
Anyway, this 4 mana 7/7
Mana's probably
is
good enough to play Teamer, honestly, if you have Mox Amber.
I agree. I actually agree. But this 4 mana 7/7 is sweet. It's interesting. I think it's actually quite easy to untap it and make it scary. I think the fact that it exists in a world with Torrential Gearhulk is like interesting.
Mhm.
You'd have to see what color, because like you also still want to be able to get spell value out of your Torrential Gearhulk, which is why you have to pair it with the second color, because mono blue is not going
Yeah,
to be able
that's
to
right.
cast anything relevant. So like,
Well, that's why you're playing it in Teamer. We get Harness Lightnings and a Braids. We
Or
can flash
blue-black.
back, or blue-black, yeah.
Yeah, this card's hilarious.
card's so funny. So I'm excited for it.
I can't wait to stomp some people limited with it.
Yeah. Oh, this limited format is obnoxious. So this was like our top 10 thick cards that we were like excited for. We should have just put like the 3-drop cycle on the top 10 and cheated. Like, obviously, as far as like the cards that are going to be the most impactful in standard, like this top 10 doesn't cover that because it's like kind of impossible to say. You never know how standard formats will evolve, but it's obviously going to be like check lands are going to be on the top.
Yeah.
You know, like if we were making a standard list of like, here's the top 10 cards that are going to affect standard. It's obviously like the check lands.
Yeah, I mean, we have some honorable mentions here where we have
These
check
are cards
lands in
that
there.
are for sure going to, like our honorable mentions are.
Yeah. But then, like outside of standard, we have Dampening Sphere, which is obviously going to be in most modern sideboards going
Damping
forward.
Sphere. It's a different, those are different cards.
What did I say?
Dampening.
Is that not what it's
It's
called?
No, it's damping.
This one's damping. Dampening
Damping.
Sphere is already a card.
Man, that's damp.
I know.
Damping Sphere.
This card's going to be just a modern sideboard staple. It answers like multiple problem decks in the format.
Answers
like it's
Tron and Storm. Say no more.
Yeah, it's an auto include in basically every. It's colorless answer. It's a colorless hate card. This card's going to be like
Oh, it messes up, what is that card? Or that deck. Not Titan Shift, the other one. Bloom Titan. But they banned Bloom. Amulet Titan. It messes up Amulet Titan.
Yeah, because they can't make multiple. Yeah, like this card just is obnoxious. It's going to be annoying as hell to play against.
Yeah, man.
For standard, another one of our honorable mentions was History of Benalia. Like, if you don't think this card's going to see standard play, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, it's probably pretty good. Then we also have, the 4-mana White Angels, Shalai and Teshar, if that's how you say their
I think
names.
Teshar's actually better.
That's
I
the
think
one whenever
she's-
you cast a historic spell, you return a creature
With converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to play, right?
One's an
Yeah.
angel, right? The other's a bird cleric.
I don't know. I thought they were both angels. Let me find out.
But I like being able to return a bunch of stuff is obviously a very powerful interaction because.
Oh, yeah, one's a bird cleric. Why isn't it an angel?
So,
God.
like, the Teshar also, like, just talking about how good History of Benalia is. I mean,
returns it. Or no,
it returns
permanents?
your 3-drop that pumps.
returns a creature.
But
Yeah.
it returns your 3-drop.
Oh, yeah,
casting
right.
because you need to cast a historic card.
Right, right.
Casting your History of Benalia returns your Glorious Anthem 3-drop creature.
Yeah, the Marshal.
Yeah, the Marshal, the Benalia Marshal or whatever.
Mm.
What's it called?
I don't know.
I don't know. The 3 white.
Yeah.
Give all your other creatures +1/+1. Like
Yeah.
that's it. That's just like for a mono white weenie deck to have that kind of recursion and engine is like really powerful.
Well, it's similar to like, what's that card? Is it Revel Arc?
Yeah.
What's that? When it dies, it returns
Yeah.
stuff?
When
Reveler.
it leaves,
When it
card's
leaves.
so obnoxious.
Which is
Yeah.
way more obnoxious because if you Restoration Angel it,
Yeah.
because it's also not an angel for some reason, it's an elemental.
So kind of pseudo Revel Arc ability on this.
Yeah,
card.
there's lots of abilities.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That card's very, very powerful. And like there's lots of decks that could very much abuse this. Like, this is there's probably some loop actually in standard we're not seeing that we just haven't thought about yet.
It's when you cast a spell though, so it's
Yeah,
That's tough.
yeah, that's true. That's tough.
Yeah.
But there's probably still ways to like some like very good synergy we're just not seeing. Like,
maybe.
There's a bunch of sort of like cast triggers or like combo-esque looking cards in this set. And I know some people have been like,
I don't think like Shalai is actually good though.
some people have just been
That's
jamming like
that's the one that gives you
4
your
Paradox engines into a
planeswalkers.
deck and seeing what they can do.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shalai's the one that gives you your planeswalkers and your creatures hexproof.
Yes, and,
And then
you
you
can
can-
pay 6 to give +1/+1.
On
I
everything,
don't think
yeah.
that card's good.
Eh.
Like it just dies to way too much. And like Glorybringer hits it. It's expensive to activate.
Yeah.
I just don't think like giving your guys hexproof in those colors matters that much. Like I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't think it's that good.
But yeah, then we've got, some cycle of good removal spells and seal away, vicious offering, cast down.
I think all those cards are very good. Those are very, very good removal spells. They're going to be staples.
Yeah, they'll be played for sure. And then this one, Adam, you're pretty stoked about.
I think this card's good. If like History Benalia is good and like the Knights are
Yeah.
good, because that guy that pumps all your creatures again, like if you can make this work with the mana, like to splash black.
Yeah, Ariel, Knight of Windgrace, black, white, 2 for 4/4 vigilance,
Like
legendary human knight.
A 4/4 vigilance for 4. This is its fail state. Is it also makes 2/2s? Like you can pay a white and 2 colorless and tap it at instant speed, which matters, to make a 2/2 white knight with vigilance. Or you can pay a black and tap it and tap X untap knights you control and you destroy target creature with power X or less. Like that's I don't know.
Quite
Like in a board stall, like this card just single handedly takes over the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like if nothing's happening on the board, like this will take over the game.
Yeah, if you have nothing that threatening, make a knight. If you play something threatening, kill it.
Right. Like you could even like kill their Scarab Gun, just keep making them replay it while you just keep building out your board. Like like it's just like
That you have to tap things that have vigilance makes this like I don't think it would be playable otherwise. The fact that you can, like attack and then blow up your guy and then want to block.
You want to double block?
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't double block this card. It also has vigilance. That's what I was saying. Like this card's I think this card's actually quite good. Like that you can attack and then like your opponent can't double block. You can just declare your attackers kill their only thing that can block profitably and then tap all your guys. Like
This card might be one of the most obnoxious things to play against in
limited, this
Sealed.
is going to be
It's gonna be like Vona.
yeah, in limited, this card is unbeatable. There's lots of cards in this set actually that are just like stone cold unbeatable in limited. We'll talk about it next week before
Our
pre-release,
yeah.
and we'll talk about like the like actual bombs that are just stone cold unbeatable. But this is one of them. This is going to be one of the most unbeatable cards. This actually might be the most unbeatable card if you don't immediately like you have like 2 turns to kill it or you are dead to it.
I know a few people who are going to be super hyped to force black white and hope to open this.
Like
All right.
no, I think this card has like standard.
Yeah, no, it could be good. I don't know.
But yeah, you never know because like that's why we don't make a list anymore of like
Yeah.
cards that'll see play in standard. Although we do know that like the removal spells like
Yeah, the removal spells will see play. But on that note, that wraps up this episode. Thank you all for joining the club this week. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at DWC Podcast 1 or the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast on Facebook. Shoot us a message if you want us to talk about anything in particular, have any questions about something we talked about on the show. We're always glad to hear from people, and we are pretty quick at responding. As always, make sure you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs, MTG Canada for good articles, other podcasts, just some good quality Canadian content up there.
oh yay.
Yay. And as always, however you listen to this podcast, whether it's on Podbean, iTunes, or your podcast app, share it with your friends, rate the podcast, leave us a review. Everything helps the podcast keep growing and bring it to new listeners.
Take care.
Later.